guys, let me just set up my board over here. So today we're going to do notes on 7.4, division, properties of exponents. Okay, let me just readjust so that I can see that everyone sees the board. Okay, so the first thing, there are three properties again. The first one is called the quotient of powers property. So this is where we have something like x to the 7th divided by x to the 4th. So this is just like having 7 x's and then 4 x's. Cancel them out. And then how many do you have left? Your answer should be 3. So if you have x to the 3rd, we need to come up with a rule. What would the rule be for using the quotient of powers? Your answer should be subtract the exponents. All right, let's do some examples. We'll do 2. The first one will be m to the 5th, n to the 4th, divided by m to the 5th raised to the 2nd times n. So if you notice, we still have to apply our multiplication properties. So over here, we have a power raised to another power, so we have to multiply. So we'll have m to the 5th, n to the 4th. The top stays the same. The bottom will multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. Now we'll be able to use the quotient of powers property. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. We know our negative exponent needs to go on the bottom to make it positive. So really, you can just think wherever, can you see? Wherever the bigger exponent is, that's where your answer needs to go. Then I have n to the 4th divided by n. This is like n to the 1st. 4 minus 1 is 3. And the bigger number was on the top, the bigger exponent, so it stays on the top. And that's our answer. All right, let's scooch it down a bit. Example 2. I have 3 to the 5th times 2 to the 4th times 4 to the 3rd all over 3 to the 4th times 2 to the 2nd times 4 to the 6th. All right, so same thing, we need to subtract the 3. We're going to start with the base 3 first. 3 to the 5th divided by 3 to the 4th should have 3 to the 1st on top because 5 minus 4 is 1. Now let's look at our 2 base. 2 to the 4th divided by 2 to the 2nd. We should have 2 squared on top because that's where our bigger exponent is. And then 4 to the 3rd and 4 to the 6th. The bigger one is on the bottom. So we're going to do 6 minus 3, which is 3, and that stays on the bottom. Now I need to solve. 3 to the 1st is just 3. 2 to the 2nd is 4. All over 4 to the 3rd is 64. Now, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 over 64. Did I make a mistake? Nope, I didn't. Okay. So now I'll simplify. I can divide by, what can I divide by? We could divide by 4. Let's see, can you still see where I'm writing? So 12 64ths, I'll divide by 4, and I should get my final answer of 3/16. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see all your work. Awesome. Okay, I will erase while you're copying down. All right, our second property, I'm going to zoom out a bit, is going to be the positive power of a quotient property. So our second one, can you see? Whoops. Sorry, this video is not very good quality. Our second one is positive power of quotient. So this is very similar to the power of products from multiplication. So what we're going to do is have x over y raised to the fourth. Same thing, we need to make sure to distribute. So it would be x to the fourth, y to the fourth. Pretty simple. So we'll do 2 examples again. Maybe just one, because this one's pretty easy. If I have a to the third, b all over a squared, b squared, and we're going to raise that whole thing to the third power. See how much you can see. All right, so what we're going to need to do is distribute this 3 to each and every single part first. So a to the third raised to the third is a to the ninth, b to the third over a to the sixth, b to the sixth. Now I'll subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3, so a to the third will go on the top. B to the third divided by b to the sixth. The bigger exponent's on the bottom, so it'll be b3. So that will be our final answer. All right, let's move on to negative power of a quotient property. Let me erase. So our third property is negative power of a quotient. Let's see, so you guys can see. And in this one, we'll have something like xy raised to the negative fourth power. So whenever we have a negative exponent, we usually have to move it to make it positive. So if it's in the numerator, I'll move it to the bottom to make it a positive. So what we're going to do first is just flip or do the reciprocal of our fraction and change our exponent so that it is positive. So I'm going to write that flip, and actually I'm going to change flip to reciprocal. And positive exponent. Then I'll just distribute y to the fourth and x to the fourth.